Good morning. Happy Sunday. I'm Jason Hammer. Last week on this show, the brain trust of myself and Scott Long hit 80% of our NFL bets and 2 out of 3 prop bets. We're going to try to do even better than that today on All Indiana Bets.
Hey, I'm Scott Long, and you're like, wait a minute, there's only 2 of them. What is it? There was not enough time to have another person talk because we're just going to brag on ourselves. Today, we're giving you winners 80%. We gave you the Colts, and we gave you the under last night. All right here, right now. Let's go.
This is All Indiana Bets, presented for the people, powered by Caesars Sportsbook and Lunazul Tequila. Feed the Wolf.
Let's not waste any time.
No.
Because I know that yesterday was a crazy day. You got the family around. Your house probably looks like a disaster. You still got the tree. You still got all the wrapping paper all over the place. But you probably won some money if you listen to us, Scott.
Yeah, that was really an amazing game. I mean, did you go fully confident into that? I know my Colts pick that I had to make on Thursday for the Saturday show. We didn't actually film it live. I'm like, wait a minute. There are people just leaving. It was crazy town. But ultimately, you have to sometimes bet on the person and the team that you're playing against. And the Cardinals were going the wrong direction. Would you want to put any more money on the Cardinals this season?
No.
I would not at all.
No.
I do not trust them. And I do trust the direction of the Colts because it forced them to run the ball.
Yes. And to Frank Reich's credit,
yes,
there's been nobody tougher on Frank Reich than I have.
Yeah.
He's stuck with the running
Right.
game. Even when they kind of stopped Jonathan Taylor there for a little while.
4 missing offensive linemen, but you know that the Cardinals defense is weak against the run. You've got to continue to pound it. Basically, the Colts kept Kyler Murray off the field. I mean, the time of possession was definitely strongly with the Colts.
So I've been to Kings Island. I've been on the Beast before.
Wow, there you go.
But that wasn't close to the roller coaster that we got with Carson Wentz last night. First half, little shaky. Second half, that was really good. And that one throw in the fourth quarter to the back of the end zone was the best we've seen Carson Wentz all year. Plus, Scott, it doesn't hurt when the Cardinals keep giving you gift after gift.
Yeah.
Undisciplined, penalties, missed kicks.
That was the Christmas gift that kept giving. You open up your presents, about 9 or 8 or 7, or how it depends on how young your kids are. But the Colts fans were getting it at 11 o'clock at night, and I have brought a gift for Hammer today.
Here we go.
I felt like it fits our show theme today. Open it up. More presents for Hammer.
Let me see what we got here.
On fire with his game. There we go. Can you read that?
Oh,
Those
wow.
are dad bod socks.
It's not a dad bod, it's a father figure.
Okay, here we are. We're
right
matching.
There. Look at that. Look at those beautiful socks right there.
The lovely Mrs. Long knew our dad bod theme.
Thank you, Mrs. Long.
It's like, let's get matching socks. These guys are already dorks enough. Let's have them in matching socks. So how are we going to make money to pay for these socks?
Well, we're going to have 5 picks each today.
Yes.
Before we get there, though, let's talk about next week's Colts game.
Okay.
Because this is normally the part of the show where we talk about the Colts.
Right.
Colts have already won. So we're looking ahead to next week.
True.
Colts and Raiders. 8.5 right now is the early line.
Yeah.
Scott, what say you?
What's the Hammer theme from the past? Hammer past, there's the classic of Hammer Christmas, present, and future. But Hammer past always said, jump on those lines early. Do you still
like
believe
a
that?
line, jump on it.
Do you still believe that?
Not a chance in
Not now, come on!
Not a chance at all.
We saw yesterday, you do not want to get on that line early. Who knows? I mean, that line started going back to the Cardinals, and you were like, with the COVID, with the injuries, with who's playing hard and who's not, and who's going to be there and who's not, I'm betting on these games like hour 2 before the game. That's as much as I don't want to risk anymore.
Yeah, in these crazy coronavirus times, wait until the very last minute because you never know when like a Darius Leonard situation will happen.
And then with the Raiders are as unpredictable as any team in the NFL. I'm going to talk a little more about that later, why I would never touch the Raiders at all.
All right, let's get into the money-making business. Last week, Scott went 4-1.
Yeah.
I went 4-1. We hit 2 out of 3 on prop bets. Last time I checked, that's good for 80% on games alone last week. Scott, let's get the party started. Who you like?
Well, this one jumped out at me before the Bengals and the Ravens got together, and then the Ravens decided, well, we're going to play our third-string quarterback. Lamar Jackson's out. Huntley's out, who really shockingly was very good. I can't put my full energies, though, in the Bengals for the game because the spread went up to 7. But if you've been watching Ravens games this year, I've gotten burnt twice by the Ravens, and it's always in the fourth quarter. You saw what they did to the Colts in the fourth quarter. They covered last minute against the Browns. They covered last minute against the Packers the last 2 weeks. I'm loving the Bengals in the first half. I think this is a far superior team with Joe Burrow. I will go with the first half on the Bengals. Just skip the second half. Who cares how it goes? Oh, wait a minute. You probably do. You probably do care about the second half, don't you?
I care very deeply about the second half because I love Cincinnati in this game laying a touchdown because it's the third-string quarterback of the Ravens. You're not dealing with Lamar Jackson. You're not even dealing with Tyler Huntley. You're dealing with Josh Johnson. What? If the Bengals don't win this game, then they should be disbarred from the NFL. Everything is lined up for them, right? Everything. The Browns have already lost. The Steelers will probably lose today. You win this game, you're home free. You're at home. The jungle's going to be rocking. It's a third-string quarterback. Joey Burrow, this is your moment. -7. It's a touchdown at home in the jungle. Lay it. Cincinnati is my play for pick number 1.
And now I think more about it. I do care because, I don't know, it was probably 2 months ago when I told everyone, hey, put money on the Bengals to win the AFC North. And there was a man named Hammer that said, they're a fraud. Any idiot that would bet on the My man has come to the dark side. He's on the Cincinnati Frauds today to cover 7 against the Ravens.
A third-string quarterback, that's why.
What kind of world are we living in?
If you want to get our picks, you want to get a head start on making your picks, check out the QR code up there. We had to fire 17 people to afford this technology, but we do have a QR code that you can scan where you can get Scott's picks, you can get my picks, you might even be able to get free cable. I don't know. Scan the QR code and you can see what we got lined up for the rest of the show.
That QR code's like an ATM for our people watching.
It is.
Hot we have been. We're going to continue today.
Coming up next, we are going to play a spirited and slightly intoxicated round of Love It or Leave It.
Yes.
We're not supposed to hit the bar yet. I'm going to hit the bar.
Let's do it.
More All Indiana Bets when we come back.
All Indiana Bets is presented by Lunazul Tequila. Feed the Wolf.
Having a good time with you guys on a Sunday. And again, Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yeah.
Except those who got New England Patriots gear or gave New England Patriots gear as a gift. We're going to play a little round of Love It or Leave It. Now, Scott, correct me if I'm wrong. It was either Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, or Vanilla Ice who once said, and I quote, "Love it or leave it, you better not wait. You better hit bullseye, the kid don't play."
I feel like half of these segments are created off of your DJ days in the 90s. Is that pretty much correct?
Well, I'm still DJing weddings and I'm available for holidays. All right, this is how we're going to play the game. I am going to run a couple different things by you.
Please.
You tell me if you love it, if you want to leave it, and give us a little reason why, okay?
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about comeback player of the year. Last night, Carson Wentz. That second half, that was huge.
He was the comeback player of the game.
He was.
Because that first half, that was the
roller coaster last night. But if you look at the odds for NFL's comeback player of the year, right now, they've got Dak Prescott as the heavy favorite, but you can get Carson Wentz at really good value. Carson Wentz plus 2,500 as the comeback player of the year.
Right.
And when you look at the tail of the tape here against Dak Prescott, there's not a lot of difference.
There hasn't. If you've been watching the games, now you look at the record, the Cowboys they've been the maybe comeback team of the year, and they are much better when he is playing. But I would definitely take some money on Wentz. I would take some money on Joe Burrow. I believe those are the two guys that have meant more to their team, actually, than Dak Prescott this year. That number is crazy, in my opinion. I think it's all based on one of these stories of it's the Cowboys. Everybody wants to vote for the Cowboys. I've seen how the Cowboys finish seasons. I'm not loving them today. They don't have the toughest schedule. They have the Cardinals next week. They have the Eagles following week. But those are teams that are in the playoff chase. I can really see them kind of falling apart at that money. What do you think?
It's good value at the money. And that's what we talk about a lot on this show. Sometimes it's not your favorite bet, it's about the value.
Yes.
And plus 2,500 is really good value. And when you look at the people that are above Carson Wentz right now in terms of the comeback player of the year odds list, Dak Prescott. Cowboys have already clinched. They're going to win the division. Is he going to rest the final week or two of the season?
Great point.
You got a couple San Francisco 49ers and Jimmy G and Bosa. They're going to take votes away from each other.
Did anybody see Jimmy G last game? He was horrendous.
Awful.
He cost them that.
And then you've got Joe Burrow. That's the one I think you have to worry about with Cincinnati, because if Joey Ballgame puts on a big performance today and they basically wrap up that division, it's going to be hard saying no to him. All right, a little bit more. Let's do one more of these. We got time? We got time for one more? Let's do it. Love it or leave it, Packers, plus 200 to win the NFC. Scott, Packers over Tampa Bay. Packers over the Rams.
Yeah.
You like this value?
I love them in regards to the Bucs. I think the Bucs are that thing's about over. Okay, last year was a great season. I don't see that kind of run in them this year with losing such key components on the outside. I like the Rams a lot at this number. It's about the number. If the Packers and Rams were flipped, I'd be loving the Packers. But 450 for the Rams, I got to go with them.
So how good do you feel about Matthew Stafford going into Lambeau in late January?
Not great, but we've seen what happens. Aaron Rodgers has lost 3 NFC Championship games, 2 of them in Lambeau Field. 1 recent.
That's true. That's true. All right, let's make some more picks here. Let's get back on the board. Scott, you've given us 1 pick. Give us pick number 2.
Yeah, this is, I'm big on betting how teams play off the game before. The Saints played their game of the season. I look at the Dolphins. The Dolphins have been this under-the-radar situation. Started terribly, very similar to the Colts, and then they have been on fire. Tua has played way better than even I thought he would do. I've been on the Dolphins twice in the last month. I like them again today. The Saints are just throwing out quarterbacks that really shouldn't be quarterbacks in the NFL. I like the Saints defense, but I like the Dolphins overall in this circumstance. I think the Saints are going to be really flat.
I am going to go with somebody that you talked about a moment ago as possibly being the representative of the NFC, the Rams.
Yeah.
The Rams, tough environment they're going to play in at Minnesota. And, the Rams at Minnesota. And 26.5 seems like an awful lot.
Yeah.
That seems like an awful lot and a tough place to play on the road here. I'm going under the team total for the Rams. The Rams may very well win this game. They probably should win this game. But something about the noise in that stadium, you're going to hear a lot of that. So go under 26.5. That is your team total for the Rams. That is my pick number 2. All right, coming up in just a moment, the segment that everyone has been waiting for. No hotter pick in any sports betting show
Nowhere
than the long shot.
8-1, ladies and gentlemen. Where am I going?
He's looking to give you another winner when we come back.
The Long Shot, presented for the people by Caesars Sportsbook.
Yes!
Let's go!
It is brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook, and why would they not want to do that?
What's that graphic say, Scott?
I got to put these on because this is the mark of a winner. 8-1, and all 8 of these underdogs won outright. Now, this is an easy one today for me. Winning outright. You're basically playing the money line on this circumstance. But I've won games on the Texans. I've won games on the Jets in the Scott Long Shot. Why I like the Bills today, this is a payback game from the Monday night disaster that the Bills had against the Patriots. That was about weather. I know it was a home game for the Bills, but the Bills are a team that need to throw the ball and move it. The Patriots won with 3 passes by old Dad Bod McGee. I will share with you, I love the Bills in this circumstance. I realize the Patriots are not often only a 1-point favorite at the end of the year at home, but I will put my money on Josh Allen all day at this point over a guy that I really think has played great in Mac Jones, but he is a rookie. The Bills give serious payback. Huge game for the Bills making the playoffs. Put your money. You can do the money line, whatever you need to do. 8-1 becomes 9-1. Here we go.
No worries at all about Belichick coming off a loss, Scott?
I don't. I really don't. I know that is the trend line, but I love the Bills in this circumstance.
All right. I am going to take us to the game that everybody has been waiting to watch. Like, people have delayed their holiday travel plans because the Lions are playing the Falcons today. This is really why all those airlines canceled all those flights. The pilots wanted to stay home and watch the Lions and the Falcons.
Maybe people didn't want to go. They didn't want to go to these games, so these pilots just like, no, I'm not going to put my people through that. Can I ask you a question about this game? And I cut you off. I'm sorry, this is your pick, but you've been hitting the Falcons a lot lately. I know it's an over-under.
I'm on a 2-game heater with the Falcons, which has improved my record of betting with the Falcons to 2,755. So you got to let it ride, baby.
Yes.
You got to let it ride. I like the over in this one. The over is pretty low, 42.5. Yeah. And it's not because I love either one of these offenses, but these defenses are awful.
Yeah.
You're going to see turnovers, and let's be honest, these aren't the worst teams in the league. We've seen worse teams. The Lions could easily have 2 or 3 more wins, and the Falcons have quietly been respectable. This is a very doable over. Over 42.5 with the Lions and the Falcons. Now, if you got just $5 on you, if the holidays have been rough and you're checking that bank account every 5 minutes, you can turn $5 into 60 with this ballin' on a budget parlay. So here's how you do it. I'm not a big parlay guy. I think parlay bets are sucker bets most of the time. But if you're trying to get a big payout with a little bit of money, this is what we're going to do.
Hey, can I just tell you also, this might be a real good bet today because when you think about all the COVID, all the injuries, everything, you want a little action on the game? This might be the direction you go. I'm sorry, Hammer. Go ahead.
This is it. And again, you can scan that QR code that we've got at Wish TV. But the Dolphins on Monday night, -2.5 against Ian Book and the Saints. I'll take Tua.
Yeah.
The Bengals. If you don't win this game today, I don't want to hear any more of that who-day crap. The Rams, we're going to take the team total under. Very tough game on the road at Minnesota, and over Detroit and Atlanta. If you like turnovers, this ball game's for you. Make these bets. You got to win them all, but you can turn $5 into over 60, and that is how we ball on a budget. All right, when we come back, it's time to put the women and children to bed and go looking for dinner. The Larceny Locks. These are the ones we feel the best about. These are the ones you can put the kids' college funds on. Okay, you probably shouldn't do that. But the locks from Larceny are coming up next. Come on back.
The Larceny Lock is brought to you by Larceny Bourbon. Steal a taste.
Oh, man, did somebody say Larceny Bourbon? All right, here we go.
Hammer, you are doing everything today. You're hosting, you're making drinks. Earlier, I saw you out there putting some kind of snow removal in the parking lot, which was great since it's 50 degrees.
I was washing Anthony Calhoun's car.
Yes, that is part of my
one-man band
job.
around here. All right, let's get to the larceny locks.
Delicious.
And this was a game that I didn't plan on locking in until I saw what the point spread ultimately became. This is way too many points for a Steelers team who is still playing for something. I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. I really do. Their offense has really decided to kind of hit the switch lately, but they're missing some key components today. Travis Kelce out with the COVID protocol. The Steelers, they're still playing to get in this thing. 10.5 is a big number. I like the Steelers getting 10. Don't know if they'll win, but I think they hang around.
I was all over that pick. Then I saw you were going to make it, and I wanted you to win it because when we get together, that hasn't always been a recipe for success. So I jumped on this one.
Thank you.
Look at the trends in the Redskins-Cowboys games. The Cowboys have been the best team against the spread. I believe 11-3. Here's what I would share with you is, this is a divisional matchup. The Redskins still have an outside chance at the playoffs. I guess I'm supposed to say Washington. Is there like an age range where you're allowed to say certain words you're not allowed to say? A lot of you guys are laughing at home. You're called millennials. I'm working on it, all right? So the Washington football team, +9, whatever you got to do when you get up to the window, they're going to cover the 9. The Cowboys have been really lucky this year. I like the front four putting pressure on, not the comeback player of the year, Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott certainly hasn't played his best football over the last couple of weeks. All right, there are more ways that you can have some fun by betting on the NFL. You can do prop bets. And when we come back, it's time to play America's fastest growing game sensation, prop, lock, or drop bets.
Yeah.
We're going to make some money doing prop bets when we come back. It's all Indiana bets. Come on.
Welcome back to All Indiana Bets. We're still on the air. We keep talking about that.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all that stuff.
We have definitely covered the over on being a part of this show. And this segment is all about making money. You've been on fire. Time for prop, lock, or drop it. Big Ten 4, C.W. McCall, good buddy, on this segment over the last 6 weeks. Here we go. First up, Jets quarterback Zach Wilson taking on the Jags. His over-under for interceptions is set at 0.5? Do you lock that or do you drop that, Hammer?
Did Zach Wilson wake up today, Scott? Did Zach Wilson make it to the stadium?
Yeah.
Then he's going to throw an interception. Yes, 0.5. We're going to lock this in over. Now, I think this is a game the Jets can win. They probably should win at home against Jacksonville. But I think Zach Wilson's going to be pressing just a little bit. He wants to look better than that number 1 pick that's on the other team. So he's probably going to make a few throws that he shouldn't. And Jacksonville's defense, for as bad as the team is, they're really not that bad. So we're going to go over. We're going to lock it in over 0.5 picks for Zach Wilson.
Yeah, you bring that up. It wasn't like Urban Meyer was cursing out the defensive coaches.
Right.
So next up, man, you picked some really exciting game quarterbacks. Possibly the other worst quarterback in the NFL, definitely top 3 or 4. Davis Mills, his over-under for passing touchdowns versus the Chargers today is set at 1.5. Do you lock or drop that with him?
I am going to drop that down low, and we're doing the under. Listen, Davis Mills could probably throw a touchdown. What scares me a little bit about this game is garbage time, because I do think the Chargers will win this game, probably going away. But asking Davis Mills to throw 2 touchdowns when I saw Aaron Rodgers only throw 3 yesterday, I feel like that's asking a little too much for a guy that, and I can't stress this enough, isn't any good.
Yeah.
Davis Mills, we're going under 1.5 touchdown passes today.
Now, you might have noticed I have my glasses on because I'm reading the prompter.
Yes, you're doing a great job, by the
Thank you.
way.
You know, this last one, Giants quarterback Jake Fromm is the quarterback. I didn't even know this. I didn't know he was still in the NFL. I think they had Mike Glennon and him just to kind of make it appear like the Giants fans would be happy that Daniel Jones is coming back because they announced that. So making his first ever start against the Eagles, Jake Fromm, over-under, passing yards set at 192.5. What do you do? Lock, drop?
Let me tell you about the current quarterback situation for the Giants. Jake Fromm could not beat out Mike Glennon.
Oh, gosh. No.
So for that very reason alone, we have to take the under. I think it's state law, 192.5. If you can't perform better than Glennon in practice, training camp, through the week, boy, I can't put any of my hard-earned money on you to take any sort of over. We're going to drop it down low. We're going under 192.5 for Mr. Fromm and the Giants.
You are like Mr. Prop. I mean, I feel good about every one of them. I don't always feel good about your picks, but the
You've made that
ones,
perfectly clear, even though I did go 4-1 last week.
And I think you're good today, too.
When we come back, though, we're going to go to somebody that does this professionally for a living. We're going to go visit the Wise Guy Lounge, Ryan Kramer. He's got a couple picks for us. We'll have those picks, we'll have some more drinks, and more of our picks. We still got a little bit of show to go. We're taking you up to 1 o'clock. This is All Indiana Bets.
All right, it is the day after Christmas. St. Nick has come and gone, but have no fear, boys and girls, because St. Kramer is here with some more gifts. That's Ryan Kramer from the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Peter Hood. Welcome back to All Indiana Bets. All right, Ryan, hope your Christmas went well. Hope the family's doing well. I got to ask you, man, we had an NFC South team that you backed last week in the New Orleans Saints. They covered handily against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it sounds like we're going back to the NFC South with a different team this week.
This one does not look as nice. Hopefully you don't judge the presents by their covers, because we're going to the Atlanta Falcons, who are taking on the Detroit Lions. And we love to fade bad teams after they dump the Gatorade. Huge win versus the Cardinals. And on top of that, this Falcons team, 0-5 with a negative 119 point differential versus winning teams. But versus losing teams, they're 6-3. They're a decent team against bad teams. And in this spot, they get the worst of them. So I love Atlanta here. I don't think a lot of people are rushing to lay this many points. So let's lay Atlanta as a bigger favorite against the Detroit team that can now pack it in for the season.
I like that bet. I would also recommend betting on Atlanta. For any of our viewers out there, I would not recommend watching that game. Do not turn your television on and watch the Falcons versus the Lions. All right, Ryan, game number 2. This game is a little more watchable.
This is pretty simple. This is a Josh Allen revenge spot. Josh Allen as a road underdog, 9-3-2 in his career. Simply put, that's going to be the difference here. Josh Allen, I think this offense figures out how to get the ball moved through the air, and I don't think Mac Jones has enough. This is an obvious season split spot. Buffalo gets it done as a short dog.
All right, Ryan. Obviously, 2 picks for you right there. You give them to us each and every week, but there are plenty more picks to be had if the folks out there can follow you and your team at the Sports Gambling Podcast, correct?
Absolutely. SportsGamblingPodcast.com, and then head over to wherever you get your fine podcasts and throw in Sports Gambling Podcast.
All right, Ryan, Merry Christmas to you again. Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you again next week, my man.
Happy holidays and Happy New Year.
All right, now we did record that a couple days ago. The Bills were getting 3. It's down to 1 right now. Scott, you're still in?
Yeah, I think basically the whole line figured out when Scott Long puts the long shot on the dog there.
It's a number changer.
It is kind of a number changer. So here we go. Today we're going to go together on another pick. Let's change that. Let's do it right now. Come on. Let's win.
I like the Panthers here,
I do
plus 10.5. Again, I think Tampa Bay probably is going to win the game, but this is a big number here. And again, Tampa is without a lot of weapons. Tom Brady is not going to have the same complement of receivers, the same dominant running game that he's used to having. 10.5 here for a Panther squad who's trying to keep their jobs. I'll take the 10.5, Scott.
I will too, and I would also mention not only the Buccaneers losing people, they just pulled 4 players off the travel squad. What do they call that?
Practice squad?
Practice squad. They used to call it the travel squad or the taxi squad. That's how old I am. Guy who mentioned a certain team you're not supposed to mention with Washington many, many times. So yeah, take the Panthers plus 10.5. You might even get it for more. Check around. I think Hammer and I even sprinkled the money line. Did you hear that?
I did not hear that, but if you're
said
hearing
it.
those,
I'm saying
those evil voices in your head, they speak a lot. I'm not sprinkling money line, but I'm just going to scoop up 10.5.
Right.
All right. When we come back, we're going to head down to the Oakmont. We've got a really cool old fashioned coming up. And look at Lexi. Lexi, the bartender, a favorite of all Indiana
You
bets.
ask, we give.
She's going to teach you how to make this bad boy. That is coming up next.
On the Rocks is brought to you by Elijah Craig Small Batch Bourbon.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to On the Rocks. Brent Holberson here with Heaven Hill Brands, coming to you today from the new Oakmont in downtown Indianapolis, just off of Mass Avenue, off of Delaware Street, next to Stout Shoes. Have the wonderful Lexi here today, going to make us a vanilla old-fashioned, I hear, correct?
I am.
Looking forward to that. And then always a pleasure, Bernie. Bernie Lovers, our Global Whiskey Ambassador, is back to join us. Bernie, how are you?
I'm looking forward to this because, vanilla is one of the flavors we get from the barrel, and that Elijah Craig has 8 to 12 years in it, so I'm excited to taste this old-fashioned with vanilla.
I'm excited for you as well. So first, I'm going to muddle some oranges in here. 2 dashes of bitters. Muddle this.
That kind of releases the oils in there. Some of the...
Then I'm going to pour some of our house-made vanilla demerara on top. And then we're going to go ahead and put 2 ounces of Elijah Craig small batch in there as well. This one's gonna need a stir, so I'm gonna put some ice on top. That. Stir it up there for you.
And that's going to melt that ice and become part of that cocktail, just that water.
Go ahead and pour it over top of a big cube. Like that. This will also get an orange peel. Make sure you rim it around. And we're gonna top it with some Luxardo cherries. And there's that for you, the vanilla old fashioned. Would you love to try it?
I would love to. Thank you.
There you go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, wow. This, you got to come try. Please come join Lexi and the crew at the Oakmont, and we'll join you next time on The Rocks. Salute.
Hammer, have you ever bartended?
Unofficially.
Yeah, on this show, you're the official bartender. I bartended a little bit. Can you imagine on a busy Friday night at the Oakmont and somebody comes up and asks for a vanilla, labor-intensive, old-fashioned? Pick that drink. It looks delicious. Get the Evan Williams, but don't do it during a busy night. Just get it on the rocks otherwise. Okay, that's a little tip from bartenders of America. It's been a tough time. What are we doing next?
I'm going to let Lexi make whatever Lexi wants.
True.
All right. These are the picks that we've got on the board for today. The Bengals -7. The stars have aligned for Cincinnati, a rocking crowd down at the Jungle. It's a third-string quarterback for the Ravens. This is the Bengals play today. Rams, the team total under 26.5. They're on the road, tough environment, 26.5. We're going under the team total. Also, we got on the big board here the over 42.5, Detroit and Atlanta. This game stinks, but usually when you have horrible games, you get turnovers, you get pick sixes, and you get bad defense. And that's what this really is about. Over 42.5. Steelers up to 10.5. This is a meaningful game for the Steelers and the Chiefs. Going to be without Travis Kelce, a few other folks. That's just too many points. Chiefs win, Steelers cover. And the Carolina Panthers, same deal. Too many points here. This is a coaching staff coaching for their jobs next year, and Tom Brady is down a lot of weapons, so we're going to go with the Panthers getting 10.5.
Last week, once again, if you weren't here earlier, we were 8-2, 80%, 4-1 each one of us.
You're welcome.
This is a first half bet. The Bengals, I like coming out of the gates hard. The Ravens have been terrible in the first half. They've been a fourth quarter team. Keep going down, like the Dolphins. The Dolphins are a different team right now. Tua's really kind of put it together. -2.5 against the Saints team that will be flat. That was not a great victory against the Bucs. They scored 9 points. Bills +1. That's the game that I'm sure a lot of you are nervous. Bill Belichick off of a loss. I just like Josh Allen. I think in this circumstance, the Bills, this is their Super Bowl.
Better quarterback
right
getting points.
Yeah, I love that. Divisional rival, Washington +9. Here's another divisional game against the Cowboys. These are the games that these teams are going to focus the most on. I like the +9. Now, here is the one that is +10.5. It seems like too much, even maybe more. I like this game a lot. I'd say put 80% of your money on this, put 20% on the money line, see what happens.
Oh,
if I had
okay.
a sixth pick, I would definitely be on the Steelers, by the way. I like 6 games here. There they are.
That's picking with the spreads that exist.
Right.
But what about those who like to do the teasers?
Yeah.
A segment we call Don't Tease Me, Bro brings us to the control room where our producer, Peter, is standing by.
Peter!
Don't tease me, bro. 3-0 on teasers the last 3 weeks. Let's make it 4 in a row. Let's go.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to keep up with you guys. Prop lock or drop it, long shot. I mean, you guys have been rolling. I'm just trying to keep up a little bit here. Hey, listen, Bills +8. As I said a couple weeks ago when I took the Bills in the teaser, you give me that many points in Buffalo, I'll take them all day long. Raiders +7 against the Broncos. Scott, I know how much you love betting with the Las Vegas Raiders. The Broncos are starting Drew Lock at quarterback today, though, so enough said there. And then the Jaguars, Hammer.
Perfect. Don't say a word, Hammer.
+9. Listen, they're playing the New York Jets. I know it's the Jaguars, but they're playing the Jets. I think me, you, Scott, JOC back here, a few randos off the street, you could line us up against the Jets, give us 9 points, and I think we would cover. So I think we're safe there with the Jags. That's a 3-team teaser, +120 odds, $10 to win 12, and let's make it 4-0.
Clearly, we're going after the Martinsville, Indiana demo
Jaguars.
here.
Wires.
Jaguars with the hard W.
That's how you say it.
That doesn't exist.
That's how you say it.
All right, thank you, Peter. Now, when we come back, I'm excited for this. This is an all-new segment.
It's about time.
I don't know what's going to happen. but
My
I've been told
segment.
Scott Long's just going to yell at people.
That's what I
So, get off of his lawn, pour yourself a drink. Scott Long yells at people when we come back on All Indiana Bets.
All Indiana Bets, presented for the people, powered by Caesars Sportsbook.
All right, because it's the holiday week and all of the decision makers and even personnel of this show are on vacation, we thought this would be the perfect time to sneak in a segment they would never let us do otherwise.
Right.
Where Scott Long puts on his grandpa readers and just yells at people. And
Here we go.
We call it Stop It.
Let me get to it. Here's the point. I have been gambling for 30 years. I have learned things, okay? I don't have the answers to everything, but what you have to understand is you can't just keep banging your head against a team that lets you down, either if you bet on them, bet against them. This week, our Stop It is the Raiders. Remember when John Gruden got fired and people were like, oh, the team will do better now, and they had one good week. Guess what? 6 of the last 7 games, they've scored less than 17 points. The guy hired everybody there. If you think he had good judgment, do you think he would have hired him? My point is they draft a horrible train wreck, literally and figuratively, of a wide receiver. They play in Las Vegas, where guess what? Next week, every time you go to Las Vegas, you're only getting 50% of the crowd because everybody's other team's like, let's go to Vegas and watch the Raiders. There's no home field, so you'd be like, well, why don't you bet on Denver? Well, Denver has Drew Lock. 20 points worse as a QBR rating than Teddy Bridgewater. And truthfully, the Raiders defense is the one thing that's been decent. Just don't bet on the Raiders. Stop it. Don't go up and stop it. Don't bet on the Raiders.
Didn't they have a player that killed a person too? Like, I feel like that
Henry
should be part of
Ruggs.
the rant. That has to be total.
Someone needed to tell him to stop it.
Please. All right. Hey, we had a good time with you guys. Thank you so much for spending
Thank you.
part of your holiday with us. We do this every Saturday and Sunday right here on Wish TV.
Big bowl games next week.
Yes, big bowl game special on Saturday. NFL Sunday next weekend. Good luck, everybody. May the odds be ever in your favor. We'll talk to you next week on
Cheers.
All Indiana Bets.